Hey, welcome back to In My Head. Ben.
Hey.
Ben. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Ben. How's it going?
Hey, Ben. How's it going?
Dad, how's it going?
How's it going? What's going on?
What's going on? It's going.
Hey, I wanted to put it on you as quickly as possible
Of course.
because I just want to see you.
Of course. Yes. I'm right next to you. But
You are right next to me. Look
I
at
am
that.
absolutely. Yeah. Hey.
Hey, have you missed everyone, Ben?
I have. This has been way too long. It's taken a while. Summer
would
camps
like
are
to-
great.
Summer camps were amazing. I would like to tell everyone that we were sitting on a beach, but that's not true.
No.
We were actually doing something way better. We were doing summer camps.
Right.
We
Summer
did three camps, 1, 2, 3, and we had Celebrate America,
Right.
which was 2.5 hours of stage shows. So that's what we've been doing. What have you guys been doing with your summer? I want to see comments. This show works because it's conversational.
Yes.
So
Of
I want to
course, send 'em
see
in.
comments.
Yeah.
Write a comment. I don't care what it is. Just write blah 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 blah. Hey,
Oh,
there we
it's
go.
Simon. Okay.
What's up, y'all?
Hey,
See,
Simon.
This works much better. Hey, Simon, how's Arizona? Tell us. We want to hear details, even if it's that you're staring at a cat right now.
Well, he's in Arizona, so he's staring at cactuses and eating cactuses.
That's very stereotyping of Arizonians, Ben.
That's
I don't
true.
think they appreciate that.
I'm sure they do.
And I'm pretty sure that you can no longer go to Arizona now. They banned you.
Oh man. That was
Angela,
fast.
kids camp this week.
Oh man, we just got from
Oh,
that.
we just got back from kids camp, and so you are going to have an amazing week. I said this at our leader meeting on Sunday. I said you come back from kids camp and you are at the peak of physical exhaustion.
Yeah.
The peak, but you're also at the peak of spiritual and internal energy. Like you just come back with this like you don't know what you just experienced, but it's just you're on a high kind of like thing, you know.
Right.
But you're physically exhausted. That's kids camp.
Yeah, physically exhausting but mentally refreshing. Also,
Right.
Dale's speaking Klingon.
Dale's speaking Klingon. So Dale says, "Bail, use Hey Dale, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't just say the first thing that came to your mind, that you spoke intelligent things."
We're speaking Klingon.
I'm just kidding. Dale's a good friend of ours, everybody. So he's like, "You told me to say that."
That's funny.
Going
So-
great. It's hot but not unbearable. We moved in fully, enjoying everything here. I'm excited to come back to Cali this fall.
Oh, nice.
Simon's coming back.
I'm glad. That's
Hey,
fantastic.
in fact, a little shout out. Go to Roller Coaster Crafter on YouTube and follow Simon. You'll be glad you did.
It's amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
All right, Ben, we're going to jump into it. We only have 3 more episodes after this episode.
Right. Until we take a small break until after Christmas, right?
Well, after Christmas, we're going to start season 3 of In My Head. But here's why. We are taking the rest of this year to write and produce Squirrely Joe's Nut House,
That's right.
which is going to be an amazing kids resource. We've been literally developing this thing for years
Right.
and years and years. And God has taken it in all these different spinny directions. But we are finally getting back on track, and we're going to lock ourselves down and make this thing happen.
Right. Yeah.
Shelley Pereira
Right. Yeah.
said they just finished their Jurassic dig the other week, which is either they went and dug up dinosaur bones, or they did the harder thing and that they produced a VBS, which I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
Oh yeah.
In fact, Shelley, I want to see this dinosaur that Frank found. He has a new dinosaur friend, and you guys, it'll blow your mind.
It's on his Facebook profile. I did see it.
It's on his Facebook
so if
profile?
you see, it's Frank. Is it Francisco Pereira? Is that
It's
his Facebook?
Francisco Pereira.
Francisco Pereira. So if you go there, that was terrible.
Hey
I'm
Ben, I
sorry.
got a shout out.
You do?
Yep. You ready?
Yes.
Ben won't answer my calls.
I never received the call. You never called
That's called
me.
a hashtag awkward. Don't worry. Hey, don't be offended. Ben doesn't take my calls either.
Well, in my defense, I never received calls.
Shelley says both, by the way. She was digging up dinosaur bones and doing VBS. Shelley, which one was harder? Battling dinosaurs or battling children at a VBS? I think I know the answer to that one. Hey, Magnus.
Hi,
Magnus says,
Magnus.
hey, everybody. Or does he say, hi, everybody?
Yeah, one of those. Two.
Did I just give away my secret identity?
No.
Okay. Well, hey, everybody. Speaking of hey, everybody, we are talking about creativity in seconds.
Right.
Creativity in seconds. What does that mean?
Creativity
If
in
you-
seconds.
Creativity in seconds.
Yes.
Ben, when I say creativity in seconds, what does that mean to you?
That means the ability to come up with something on the spot as quickly as possible.
Yes. How many times, Ben, do we plan a dynamic kid service only to have something flip on its head because people call in sick or whatever, and we have to immediately create something within seconds?
Right. Or when we've been at summer camp for 3 weeks and we need to plan a Sunday service the morning of.
Yeah, because what we didn't do is plan a Sunday service while we were planning all the things for summer camp, and
Right.
we get to Sunday service and we're like,
Oh, yeah.
and the
what are we doing?
temptation is just to show a video. But I kind of feel, even if we're tired, I hate that. I really hate being lazy for kids. Even if we're tired and it's just. Like, even if we totally deserve just to show a movie, I don't feel like the kids deserve that. So the ability to come up with creativity in seconds is really important, and I'm going to put you to the test right now.
Sure.
And viewers, this is for you guys as well. You guys, obviously you can write down your comments in the comment section, but this is for your mental capacity, okay? I'm going to show you 5 objects, and you have 5 seconds, Ben.
Okay.
First, you're going to choose the object, and then, and just so you guys are watching at home, I did not tell Ben about this ahead of time on
I
purpose.
have no idea what
okay?
he's doing.
So I'm going to show you 5 objects, and you have to first pick your object, and then you have to come up with a lesson using that object in 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay? I will count it down.
Okay.
5 seconds. It doesn't seem like a lot of time, but I actually did this earlier, and I did it in 3 seconds. It came out of my mouth. And why? Because I practice.
Right.
All right, here's object number 1.
Okay. Do I get to choose the object?
I'm gonna go solo mode on this because you guys need to see this. This is a Lego R2D2, and if you move him backwards, all you do is tilt him backwards, his front leg pops out. There we go. It's a better view.
That's really
Lego R2D2. His head even pivots around. There's a hidden Jedi. There's a hidden lightsaber in his head. Cool stuff. All right, and watch this. Boop. He has a hidden arm that comes out, and not just one, but 2 hidden arms that come out of his capsule. All right, that's object number 1.
Okay.
Object number 2 is a fork. Just a plain old fork. All right. Object number 3, a pine cone. Object number 4, a glass of ice. Object number 5, a typical prize bag that you would find at a birthday party. All right. All right, Ben, which object do you pick?
Now, for what I want to do, I can't do.
You just pick the object. Go. You don't have time.
All right, the R2D2.
R2D2. Okay.
Can I tell you what I would do with the object?
5 seconds. Come up with the lesson. Go.
I already got it.
Go.
Okay. You see, I would have that. I would have this R2D2. Now that took you a while to build, right?
Yeah.
It took you quite a long time.
A long time. Thousands of Lego pieces.
Thousands and thousands of Lego pieces, right? So what I would do is I would show the complexity of this, like, look how cool this is, and then I would smash it into the ground in a million pieces, and then that there's some shock with that, right? And then the whole point is sometimes life is disappointing.
That's a terrible lesson.
It's a
There's no hope in that.
You said come up with a lesson. You didn't say that what the lesson had
All right.
to be about.
This is what when I did this test on myself, I said glass of water, and this was the lesson that came to my head. It came right away, okay? It just snapped in. This is either a good thing or a bad thing. If you want the ice to be cold, the longer you wait to drink it or partake of it, the worse it gets, right? Therefore, it's bad. But if you want your ice to be warm, then the more time you spend, the more time you take before you use it, the better it gets. So it either gets better or worse, depending on your perspective.
Right. That's good. I like that.
Okay, so write in the comments whose lesson was better.
Hey,
I'm just kidding. It's not about that.
I like that.
The
then.
whole
No,
point,
that's good,
the whole point is that we have to come up with stuff like, bam, like as if we've been working on it for hours. We have to do. There's no time sometimes. So I read a book called Creativity Inc. And we're gonna come back to a physical exercise that I just got to. Oh,
Yeah! Yes! That's
John.
great.
thanks. I like mine. Mine's more elemental, and it doesn't involve smashing an expensive Lego set.
Okay, but that's awesome. Smashing
You also got
stuff's
another
great.
vote. You know what?
That's right. That's what I'm
quit.
talking about. Yeah, you know what? I
I
told you.
officially quit. I quit kids ministry. I quit everything.
Yes. Thank
All
you,
right.
John. Thank
All
you,
right.
Alana.
I read a book a while back called Creativity Inc., written by Ed Catmull. Ed Catmull is one of the co-founders of Pixar. Ben, I'm going to make you go away because I'm mad at you, okay?
Okay, goodbye.
All right. And he wrote a couple things in here. This is basically how Pixar got its start. And I don't know about you guys, but I highlight stuff in the books because I have to come back and remember this for later. The ability to create something.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
Notice that a
talk about
crafter voted for me.
Let's get back to the.
Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. Pixar was founded by a few individuals who wanted to create like amazing content, like amazing animated movies for kids. And we all know Pixar's legacy from Toy Story to Ratatouille and all that. But he said the two defining creative principles emerged in the wake of Toy Story, which was their first like big time movie that Pixar was associated with. The first principle was story is king. Story is king. And if you guys know, as kids pastors, the stories we refer to, the Word of God. So, story is king. We start with the story. We start with the heart of what we're trying to communicate. This is my translation, by the way. The other principle we depended on was trust the process. So I can tell you, Ben, we have, and you know this, Ben, we have a creative process that we go through. Every Monday, we had one today, where we get together and we have a kind of a brain trust meeting of the minds, and we come up with ideas. Like we just came up with the next series idea, and here's how it happened. We got done with our summer programming. We're all tired, but we're all excited.
Right.
And we have one Sunday left in our camping series. And I asked you guys, you and Dale were there, and I said,
Right.
well, what should be the next series? Let's go. Let's do this. Let's brainstorm.
Yeah.
And Dale jokingly said something about musical instruments because on the wall above us, someone had created this artwork with musical instruments. And that led to the conversation about talking about worship, we talked about putting a band together, and that became the creative vehicle for our skits. And so that where a quick like 2-second comment turned into the next series. And so that's what I'm talking about is creativity in seconds. Trust the process. I think it's really important as creators, as communicators, as kids pastors, youth pastors, senior pastors even, is that you create a process for creating. God is the master creator, of course, but you have to have a system. Well, we have madness, but you have to have a system to your madness because then you can rely on that when you need to be creative. Like some people, I hear people ask all the time, Ben, like, how do we come up with that stuff? Do you ever get that?
I do. And can I real quick just say something about that?
Yeah.
I think that one of the things that you do very well is that you don't create a mass when you put something together, like like a video or something, Nuthouse, anything. You don't put necessarily a masterpiece artwork. You build a block individually. You build like a Lego piece, right?
Yeah.
And then when we were sitting down today at that thing, we had all these Lego pieces just strewn on the table because we had already created so much.
Right.
We did the SNL's cowbell sketch a long time
Yes,
ago.
yes.
We were like, okay, yeah, let's build off of that. So Dale says musical instruments. Like, okay, so our first Sunday can be the cowbell sketch.
So
And then
you
we just
actually
start,
connected the dots.
yeah, you actually start putting the Lego pieces together.
Yeah,
and
so
that's when we
Dale
build.
said musical instruments. I said worship band, or I
Right.
said band, and then you said cowbell sketch.
Right, I wanted
Right?
to do that.
And why did you come up with I just want, so I know what you were doing when you mentioned that, knowing that I'm going on vacation this week for a few days, knowing that we have limited time to prepare,
Right.
which is standard in kids ministry. What is your reason for coming up with the cowbell skit for our first skit of the series?
Well, because you were gone. You know, you got some vacation to take. There's just stuff going on, so we haven't done that with these kids yet.
Right.
None of these kids have seen this.
But we've done it before.
We've done it before, and we know how it's done. So
Right. So we're
it's something we
starting
can
with
just put in
something
there.
that we're familiar with, and we just build on it.
Right.
And I think that's a big key to being creative in seconds is that you don't start from scratch with nothing. You start with something you're already familiar with, and you modify it, twist it a little bit, and you've got something new. And I think as long as you're breathing your own creative life into something, like in other words, you take a concept, like take a Bible story, for instance, and you add a flavor to it you throw in some robots or whatever, you come up with creative ways to tell the story, that it actually puts life into it because you're doing something that's a little uncomfortable and it's something that you might be afraid that it might not work. But that gives it some kind of crazy life. I think when if you've done something like 1,000 times, I think people can see, unless you're a great performer, and I have a few friends that are great performers.
Absolutely.
I'm going to talk about one in just a sec, but I think when you've done something 1,000 times, you get comfortable.
Yeah.
Right?
It's really easy to.
Yeah. Later on in the book, Ed Catmull talks about failure and fear. In fact, the fear of failure. He says, for most of us, failure comes with baggage, a lot of baggage. I believe is traced directly back to our days in school. From a very early age, the message is drilled into our heads. Failure is bad. Failure means you didn't study or prepare. Failure means you slacked off, or worse, you're not smart enough to begin with. Thus, failure is something to be ashamed of. This perception lives on long into adulthood, even in people who have learned to parrot the oft-repeated arguments about the upside of failure. There is a visceral reaction to failure. It hurts. But we must think about failure differently. Right. Ben, did you do that well in school?
No, I did not. I'm thankful that I had great parents that were very forgiving and helpful.
Well, I think you are one of the most intelligent, creative people I know, yet school was just not your thing.
I hated homework. I was great at taking tests.
Right. I'm going to put this up a little longer. Dale said, when something goes wrong, improvise and act like it was part of the act.
Like that.
That's so good. So true. So going down a little farther, he says, we need to think about failure differently. But the way that most people interpret this assertion is that mistakes are a necessary evil. Mistakes aren't a necessary evil. They aren't evil at all. They are an inevitable consequence of doing something new, and as such should be seen as valuable. Without them, we would have no originality. And yet, even as I say that embracing failure is an important part of learning, I also acknowledge that acknowledging this truth is not enough. That's because failure is painful, and our feelings about this pain tend to mess up our understanding of its worth.
That's good.
Failure is amazing. Facebook's motto says, work fast and break stuff. Because if in the process of creating, you're putting yourself out there, and you don't know if they're not going to respond or not. How many times have we come up with characters or skits, Ben, and then literally went, I don't know if anyone's going to laugh. I don't know if they're going to say I'm bored, but
right.
But that doesn't stop us, right?
No, it does not. There's been some terrible skits in the past.
Right. We've done some terrible, not stuff that's scarring to kids, just so you guys know.
Boring and terrible.
Yeah, but when it comes to presenting the gospel to kids, when it comes to preaching, when it comes to introducing God to kids, when it comes to all of the above, God wants us to be creative. He doesn't want us to just open a book and read with no life. And where does life come in? I believe life comes from that which you're afraid of. Like, not fear as in like I'm afraid of the bad guy in the dark, but like afraid of what people might think, because you're exposing yourself. Like, you're exposing your inner workings and what's in your mind, And when you put it out there, you're trusting that people aren't going to crush it, But that shouldn't stop you from being creative. And I've heard a lot of people say, I'm just not creative. I think the better way to word that is, I'm afraid to be creative. I'm afraid to create something out of fear that they're not going to like it. Or I've heard this a lot, it's not going to be perfect right out of the gate. Oh my goodness. That is never the case. It's rarely perfect right out of the gate. How many times, Ben, have you created something and then went back and went, wow, that was really terrible?
Yes.
Like at the beginning.
A lot. I can think of a couple things. It's fun.
Okay, you think about it, and I want to come back to that.
Oh, boy, yeah.
One of the things, I want to show you guys a quick clip from summer camp. We do this segment called Room Inspections, and this is like, I would love to take credit that for how this turned out. I would love to take credit for this, but I can't, because we discovered this accidentally. When you go to a place like summer camp and you're there for 4 days and all the kids get to know each other, and they're featured, we have a thing called Camp TV, which started with John Zick and Jordan Jones way back when Abe Daniel was DYD.
Right.
But when we developed this segment called Room Inspections, where we would take the camera into kids' rooms. Taking a camera into a kid's room, you may as well be pointing the camera at them, because the room it shows a lot of the character and personality of these kids. So these kids lose their minds when they see their bed or they see the pillow that they brought from home. It's like you're looking at their innermost soul, and they go crazy. And we get kids that come up to us and go, "Don't go into room 305 with the purple thing on the door that says please come on in. Don't go in that room." Yeah, right.
They know they want. Yeah,
they know they want it. So I want to show you guys a quick clip, and then I want to talk about it afterwards. Take a look.
Oh.
This room needs to be inspected, and I don't want to go in there. You just go in there and inspect those rooms.
Why? I don't understand. It's a big deal. Sean!
Now to get my shopping cart. I'll be back, Erica, to get you a new thing.
This is not funny. Sean, you locked me in the room. What is going on?
Erica. I need to go shopping more.
Shopping?
Shopping. I'm shopping for the appropriate sleeping bag. It's in, oh, this is a good one.
Whoa, what?
Out of the way! Shopping needs to be done.
Shopping?
Hey, Erica, come in. I'm ready.
Not a good idea.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
I wanted to show that first because summer camp is absolute madness when it comes to scheduling. Like if you get a chance to sit down for like 2 minutes, you're like thank the Lord right there. Like thank you God for this 2-minute rest. So when the kids are in rotations, in other words, they're out on the water slides and the pool and stuff, we have like 30 minutes to run and grab room inspections. Like
Right.
that, and we can preconceive some ideas like let's bring the Yeti costume and the inflatable dolphin costume, but we don't really know until we're in those rooms what we're going to be able to do, right? We brought the shopping cart because we thought, well, we could use that, right? So once we get in those rooms, we have about 10 seconds to go, what if we did this and I'm on the bed eating crayons, and then Erica, you say stop eating the kids' crayons. Okay, that's funny. Let's do it. We record it, and we just throw all the spaghetti noodles against the wall, so to speak, and then we edit, right? So,
Right.
Ben, you remember the crazy process. Like, what were you doing at summer camp while we're doing room inspections?
What was I doing?
Yeah, what were you doing because we had 2 camera crews.
Right. Okay. So at the same, hold on, I need to turn them. There you go. Okay. So at the same time, Emma Deal and I were it was a mixture between whoever was not at the
Whoever
time,
was available.
whoever was available. We were grabbing shots for the commercials.
Yeah, you guys were making
Yeah.
commercials at the same time, and then we had like 30 minutes to edit all this stuff before
All
we
of
had
it.
to show it.
Yeah.
Before we had to go to dinner, and then we had night chapel and stuff. So gaining the ability to be creative in seconds is crucial. It doesn't have to be perfect though, because if you go back and look at this stuff, it's like, I mean, some people might go, wow, but you can do so much in 10 seconds or in 30 minutes. Well, okay, we've been doing this for 15 years. So don't expect to do something at high quality the first time you strike out to do it. If you go back and look at some old summer camp stuff that I used to do with John Zick and Jordan Jones,
Right.
and even before that, way back in the day, like you would go, wow, this is not good stuff.
We need to
you know?
show Penelope the pirate.
Penelope the Pirate, and I'm talking about pre-Jordan and John. I'm talking
Yeah.
about way back in the day. It's like really amateur hour stuff.
We will show this video
No, won't show it.
one day.
I want to close out this segment, and by the way, along the way, add comments. They are the lifeblood of this show. But I want to tell you guys a scenario that happened. So the called camp was for high school and college age kids that are called into ministry. This happened about 3 weeks ago, and I got a call from Jamie Pierce and Pat McConville, and they said, "Hey, we want you to do a couple skits." And this was right at the tail end of our first kids camp. And I'm like, oh man, I knew that you weren't going to be able to go, Ben. I was going to go
Right.
by myself, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm there by myself. Okay, so I'll do the tape mouth sketch because I've done that like 50 times, right?
Sure.
that I know what to do. I can just handle that. But I felt like I didn't want to do another one that I'd already done 1,000 times. So I was at Universal Studios about a month ago, standing in line at the Jurassic World ride. I love that ride, by the way. And
That's such a good
above on the screens, there's these like tutorials or like little news shows about the dinosaurs and stuff. And there's fun facts. And it said like dinosaur fun facts, you know, that kind of thing. And it started doing this like tutorial type of thing. And all of a sudden, I don't know why this clicked in my head. I knew that I didn't know yet that I was going to be going to Called Camp. But I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I pretended to not know how to do a puppet, and I wanted to do a puppet show, and I played the tutorial for the puppet show at the same time putting on a puppet show, right?
Right, which is also inspired from a magic trick that you had,
It's
right?
inspired from a magic trick, which there's a magician named Robert Baxt. Highly suggest you go on YouTube and find him.
Really
He's
good.
got some really good tricks for the kids. And the way that he does his storytelling is awesome. But he did this magic trick where it's like using a change bag and a Red Bull can, a Red Bull puppet. It's really cool, really cool. But I'm standing in line, and I don't know why that popped in my head, but I kind of just said, that's funny. And then when Pat called, thank you, Rhonda. Very kind of you. But we're going to get a chance to watch it here in a second.
Yay.
Because someone recorded it. But so Pat says, hey, we want you to do these skits. And I thought, what if I did this puppet tutorial? I could do that by myself. Like, in other words, perform it without much help. And so the first night of Called Camp, we finished the evening. It's like 10:30, and I'm down in I'm getting coffee. I'm going to show you guys. This is what I did. So I went on Google Docs, and I wrote down an outline. Okay, Sean intros the concept. Then he wants to do a puppet show, but he didn't have time to even open the package. And then I said, Sean opens the package, pulls out a slip of paper with a scan code. He scans it, all this stuff. And then I thought, okay, then I needed to break down, like, what's the outline of this skit? Okay, so if it's a real puppet tutorial, you have to go over name, character, voice, movement, actions, words, stage, interactions, and close. So then what I did is I wrote each of these into segments, a script, and I copied and pasted this right here into what's called Amazon Web Services. Oops, I'm clicking on the wrong screen here. Amazon Web Services. And I open up this, and I hope it's gonna, so I go like this, copy, paste. What? That's not what oh well, whatever.
That's fine.
You guys will get it. So I go to the British voice. British. Brian.
Join the conversation today as we talk about creativity in seconds. Most times we don't have the
Okay.
time necessary
Stop
to
it.
create something.
Okay, so I'm done with that. So I wrote it down, I copied and pasted, and then I had to I was standing in the common room at this camp at 1 o'clock in the morning doing this with my hand, like this, going over this whole thing. And then I put the whole thing together. I created like one big audio file, all timed, and I had a box that I created, and I literally performed it. I did a couple rehearsals by myself, and I went for it. So I thought we'd close out our time today with showing you guys, if you stick with it long enough and you learn and you commit and you just open your eyes, absorb everything, listen, learn, be a sponge, take in information even though it seems useless. Yes, Ben.
And build your Lego bricks.
Build your Lego bricks, because I love that. I love that. You start with one brick and you build on it. And then pretty soon it turns into an amazing R2-D2 that Ben wants to smash on the floor.
Absolutely.
So Dale says, if we make our kids laugh, we know we did our job. And when we do a backstage high five, it makes it all worth it. I know what he's talking about. We go backstage and we high five each other because the craziness worked. And then there's times where I just go, that was terrible.
Yep.
That didn't work.
Ugh.
But you know what? That's again, that's not failure. That's just finding out different ways to do stuff. So, anyways, I mentioned that I have a friend that performs, that does this. He does this act over and over again. The guy is just an energy powerhouse. This bag right here is the
Terrible.
reason why I became friends with Mario Marchese.
Yes, Captain
And
Cactus.
I'm not going to tell the story. That's for another time.
Right.
But I've always kept this bag, and I've never opened it. I don't even know what's in it all the way, but I'll never open it because this to me is unlimited possibility. So I'll explain that another time. But so I now keep in mind I'm a kids pastor, and when I went to this called camp, who are high schoolers and junior and college kids called to ministry. These are kids called into senior pastoring, like youth pastoring, worship, missions, kids ministry. I literally had to preface it with saying I would never perform this in front of kids for obvious reasons. And I remember going, I hope either no one laughs, which will make me laugh because I'm a kids pastor, these are youth kids, or I hope everybody laughs. But if I get a couple pity laughs, I'll just like, I don't know, set my hand on fire and walk into the lake.
There you go.
So I did this, and I want to show it, and just as an example that if you commit and you work hard enough, you will gain the ability to be creative in seconds. Okay, so this Pat McConville was great. It was great, graceful. I don't know, graceful was helpful
Graceful.
in recording this.
Yes.
But here we go. This is called the puppet tutorial.
The king.
Hello. I'm a bit nervous right now because I really want to be good at kids ministry, and I know that part of kids ministry means you have to have skills that you have to have so the kids get to know Jesus. And one of those skills is puppetry. And I'm not really good at it, but being a little transparent, I really wanted to practice this routine, this puppet show for you guys. But the box just got delivered, and so I haven't opened it yet. And I ordered the kids ministry version, and they sent me online or tutorial download. So if you guys don't mind, I'm just gonna play the tutorial at the same time putting on a puppet show. Is that okay with you guys? Woo! Yeah. Any kids pastors out there? Woo! Future kids? Hi. Don't quit after you see this, okay? Because learning is half the battle. That's G.I. Joe. You didn't know that. All right, let me get my phone out, and here we go.
Hello and welcome to the basic tutorial for performing puppet shows for kids. Before we begin, you should have received your brand new puppet. Fun fact, there are many types of puppet shows that are used to communicate all kinds of information. We have puppets for kids shows, puppets for kids church, puppets for teachers, even puppets for emergency services training. Now, since you ordered our Kid Show package, you will have received your new friend, Kid Ministry Carlton. Go ahead and take your new friend out of the box.
Okay.
Now remember, this is a special moment. The first time you lay your eyes on your puppet, a new friendship is formed.
Something's wrong.
Puppet character. Step number 1 of learning puppetry is to stare long and hard at your new puppet.
Okay.
Look deep into his eyes. Look at his soul. What kind of person is in there? What kind of character is screaming, "Hello children, nice to meet you.
I don't know.
I am here to make your day happier." Did you look at your friend?
Yes.
Now look at him again.
Do I have to?
Now ask your new friend, how are you going to make the lives of children better?
This is weird. How are you going to make the lives of children better?
Your puppet's character is the person trying to get out. Help him be the person who is going to help children find Jesus. Be sure when you are performing that the children can see your puppet's face. Puppet voice. Step number 2 is to learn your puppet's voice. Look at your puppet. Imagine what they want to say right now and what kind of voice they would use. Give it a try.
Help! Put me out of my misery!
Good. I can imagine children everywhere just laughed with joy. Now repeat after me in your new puppet voice. Hello children.
Hello, children!
Would you like to meet Jesus?
Would you like to meet Jesus?
Would you like to go to heaven?
Would you like to go to heaven?
Now say something that relates to what you just asked. Go ahead.
Well, since I'm going to heaven real soon, you want to go with me?
Good. Step number 3 is to learn how to move your puppet. It is important to make movements with your puppet that matches your puppet's character. Look at your puppet and make a movement that makes sense. Good job. I can just see the looks of delight on the children's faces. Actions versus words. Step number 4 is to learn the value of your puppet's actions before using words. Since you have purchased Kid Ministry Carlton, he comes with tools to help his actions speak louder than his words. Please use the supplied liquid and pour it on your puppet's head. Do it now.
This is not a good. This is not. I don't think this is working out. Anyways.
Now, use the supplied flashlight to light up Carlton, so all the kids
No
can see
flashlight
the
here.
light of Jesus shine. The stage. In step number 5, we will learn how to use the supplied stage. Get behind your new puppet stage.
Okay.
I will wait.
Okay.
Now, it is important to know that when you use a puppet stage, the kids who are watching will think that your puppet is real. Now greet the kids in your puppet voice and repeat after me. Hi kids.
Hi, kids!
Now use your puppet son to wave hello. Good. Now all the kids want to be your puppet's friend. Interactions, step number 6. You are almost ready for the finale. First, you have to learn how to engage your audience. Select an audience member.
You, right? Hi. Would it be an audience member?
No, not you. Use your puppet. Do it now. Now ask them, do you want to be like me?
Do you want to be like me?
Do you want to do what I do?
Do you want to do what I do? What do you do?
Good. Are you ready to shine like Jesus?
You want to be like, you want to be Jesus?
Congratulations. Now you are ready for the finale. The finale. I am so proud of you. Now get ready to spread joy to all those kids in your ministry. Your final instruction is this: use all that you have learned to sing along to a song I will play. When you hear the word shine, make your puppet shine like Jesus. Here we go.
You guys stomp your feet like that? Let's go again. That's it. Here you go.
Remember, never use our fire safety puppet, Burn Victim Bernie, for the children, as that would frighten them. Thank you, and have a puppety puppet day.
Have a puppety puppet day. Well, so it you know what, Ben? It turned out. It worked.
That was so funny.
But so many times it doesn't, and then I feel like the darkness is closing in.
Right.
But don't let the darkness of the fear of failure like ever stop you guys from being creative. And even though if you have to use seconds to be creative, I'm gonna share this next time we meet. I'm sharing the story of this.
Yes.
You might develop a lifelong friend because you overcame your fear of failing and just got creative. So
Right.
that's it for the show. I think it's time
All
to
right.
spin our wheel, Ben. What
I
do you
like
think?
this part.
I
Yep.
think it's time to spin the wheel. And we only have a couple segments left. We have like 3 segments left. Time, talent, treasure, create a character, and the dollar bill. Hang on, Ben.
Yep,
Just
I'm
hang
hanging
on.
on.
I gotta
Hanging
get
on.
the song. I gotta get the right music.
Okay.
How about this music?
I can hear now, by the way.
It's playing, just so you know. Go spin that wheel, Ben.
Spinning it.
Whenever you stop, it stops.
Oh, do I get to choose?
You
That's
choose.
powerful.
Time, talent, and treasure.
Oh,
I can't hear anything over this music.
I can't hear anything.
That just means it's time to end the show.
All
That's
right.
it. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for being the best part of the show. We're going to talk about time, talent, and treasure next time, and we're going to have some special guests, huh?
All right, next week.
Next week.
Monday.
Next Monday.
3:30 p.m.
Next Monday, 3:30 p.m. Don't forget to have a puppety puppet day.